So in this video, I'll be talking about how you get a Dyson V11 back in the packaging after you take it out. The packaging is surprisingly complex and there's many pieces of cardboard and it's not really clear how you put it back in. So in this video, I'll run through a way to get your Dyson back in the package in a simple and effective manner. That'll be sufficient for sending it back, if not necessarily perfect. The key piece in all this is one I'm showing right now, and that is the one where the body of the Dyson goes. This will be true with any vacuum, but in this case I'm demonstrating with a V11. So the main thing you want to do when sending your Dyson back or boxing it up is to get the body very secure in, and that's going to require this sort of main piece. This will set the foundation for the whole job. Also note that there's a piece that holds the cylinder in place as well. That's very important. The other piece you'll want to secure very early on is the extender, which is like sort of the long tube. This is really difficult to get back in place and it's very prone to scratching. So you want to be very careful with how you place it, which means placing it early. It came wrapped up, so make sure you find some way to hold it in place and also a way to wrap around the barrel. So when you ship your Dyson, again, whether it's back to Dyson or to wherever, you're not sending a scuffed up metal tube. It will really make the vacuum look like it's been used or beat up when in fact maybe it hasn't. So wrap it up in that piece of paper that was included, give that a twist or put some tape on there, and then put it securely, obviously long ways, and hold it in place with some of these, this piece here that looks like it has a U or C shape in it that the tube could fit in. This piece is hard to get in, but getting it in securely and in a way that it won't bounce around is worth the effort. This is one of the few metal pieces on the Dyson, so it's especially prone to scratching. So you want to put some stuff in between it and the other components. The good news is that after this, then the components get much smaller, so you could start protecting them, usually in some included cardboard box, but then just sort of putting them where they seem fit. In my experience, the places you're returning the Dyson to, they don't really mind so much if everything's put back exactly the way it's supposed to be, so long as it shows up well protected and obviously all the parts are there. Some of the pieces will fit easily together, like the wall mount pieces. Other pieces, it won't really be as clear how they showed up, but there'll usually be a piece of cardboard and a match that's clear enough so you know what to do. Like this sandwich style is pretty good for the wall mount, and then other parts will just get placed in boxes. You want to be really clear with this piece. This is the torque head, or the main, basically the main cleaning head. It's the single most expensive part of the vacuum outside of the body itself. So for this one, you want to find the actual piece it's shipped in, was to really keep it well protected and stop any bad scuffs from the plastic. Because this piece is worth most of the cost of the vacuum outside of the body itself. It's probably worth more than all the other components combined. So it's worth really protecting this one and putting it in securely. This has a piece that sort of folds around it and it protects or it gives some room for the ball head, which is the pivot part. So you can put that in place and keep it really secure and stop it from bouncing. Now all the biggest parts are in place and you have to deal with some of these smaller components. If you have a Dyson Animal Plus or an Absolute or something that includes a lot of tools, you'll have more parts to deal with. Some of the other Dysons, like the motor head, you'll have less components. The good news is most of these things are relatively small and they can be protected in these included boxes. The main thing you'll want to watch out for at this point is making sure you include everything so you don't send your Dyson back missing parts, and that the box closes. So you have to make sure that it doesn't really stretch out like laterally like you see here. Another major concern at this point is the outlet adapter. That also has pieces of metal on it, so you want to be really careful and make sure that is protected. Those two metal prongs that go into the wall are actually relatively sharp and they could damage the different components on the vacuum. So you want to be really careful. This came in a box. Finding that box should be relatively easy. which is like one of the more specific looking pieces of cardboard. So make sure that's boxed up and closed securely before you ship this back. Don't just throw the cord in there. That won't go over well. Using the above method, you will have some extra cardboard boxes or cardboard pieces around. And again, in my experience, Dyson really doesn't care, but there will be some extras. So just make sure you kind of use what you need to and then recycle the rest, because you won't need everything if you go a little bit light on the return packaging. Because you secured the main components, again, the extender, the metal extender tube, and the vacuum head itself, everything will be relatively well protected, or at least protected sufficiently. So you'll be okay even though you didn't fully use all the included materials. You'll have to sort of Tetris in the last few pieces, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem if you didn't use all the cardboard components before it. And then maybe one or two of the pieces you could put out with not too much packaging. Just make sure that they don't really bounce around and they have really no place to go. Then they'll arrive safely. Most of the stuff here is really tough. What you want to do is prevent parts from hitting each other or rubbing against each other too much. And then you could use some of the extra components to protect the most important parts of the vacuum, just in case there is like a little bit of extra movement while the box is en route. So if you followed the video, then the box should close without any problems. Maybe it won't be perfect, but it'll definitely be fine to tape up and shut. Thanks for watching, and please do subscribe to get more videos like this.